Hey. Oh my God. Hi, Poppy. Welcome, shorties. Sorry, I'm still sorting my shit out. Standard. Too bright. I'm in hell. Hi. Oh, look, I've got a shorty up there. A light. Can you see that? Ay. My earbuds are in, but they're not connected, so I'm a total professional. Hello. Can you hear me? Here we go. Guys. Wait, let me just see if I can get my blue earbuds connected, because how was your day or your night? Thanks, Adam, for being here. It's like the middle of the night. Hi, Michelle. This is just the three of us, y'all. Oh no, there's more here. Yes, and I've still got my work shirt on because it's pink, and I figured why not, and whatever. Hang on now, though. Earbuds. This isn't ideal. Why aren't they working? So anyway, thank you. So anyway, Charlie's thrown a darn spanner in the works today. Poppy, please. Jesus Christ. Hi, Poppy. You're crazy. Okay. Over the weekend, it turns out that hey, Michelle. Over the weekend, it turns out that okay, wind it back. Dan Rashbaum represented Charlie Adelson, right? And in a stellar fashion, managed to get him life without parole, convicted on both charges of murder in first degree and conspiracy to commit murder. I just can't focus. Poppy, you're really grinding my gears so hard it isn't even funny. Love you, but bye. Okay, thanks, bye. Here we go, Bluetooth. Let me just do this because I can't focus. This. So this was always going to be an issue, right? Because Dan Rashbaum was, spoiler alert, was, thanks, Laura. Look, I think this is working now. We'll see. Dan Rashbaum was supposed to be representing Donna. However, spoiler alert, this morning he withdrew. He removed himself from the case. Hey, Fab Shelley. Hey, Sharon Triffett. Hey, Laura. Good to see you. Sharon. Fab Shelley G. Amazing. Thank you for coming. So, oh my God, Poppy. It's been quite the day, folks. So I heard little whispers. Mia Beto told me that something had gone down on the weekend, but I hadn't seen it. Basically, Charlie had seemingly agreed to waive his attorney-client privilege right with because there is a conflict of interest there for Dan Rashbaum to have represented Charlie and have all that privileged information, but then for Charlie to also be a witness called to testify in Donna'S trial, and the state will absolutely be calling him. So, oh my goodness, wait, this is still not right. No, forget this device. I can't even deal with my life right now. Hang on. It hates me. The world hates me. The universe hates me. Can't focus. So anyway, long story short, they had started voir dire jury selection this morning, and they had to halt it. They had to send the first panel out because it turns out that Charlie decided that he was no longer going to waive his attorney-client privilege, the issues, and that he didn't sign anything. He wouldn't. I'm having so many issues with Bluetooth. Right, turn it off and on. Isn't that the thing you do? Turn it off, turn it on. Good to see you. Yeah, Michelle. I you know what bothers me when people say GTCU. I'm like, what are we doing here? Which acronym are we using? Because GTCU says other things to me. I don't know. Shoot me. Come on now. Poppy, I love you, but just no. Turn Bluetooth on. Come on, world. Otherwise, I'll just mute myself. It's all good. I'll be. We're good. I can't deal with this. Yes, Poppy, I love you very much. I do. Anyway, I'll stop rambling, shall I? Let me pull up. I haven't even pulled them up yet, so like such a professional. I have had an epic day. So what do you got here? What do we got here? Okay. Let me just search it. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a moment, huh? Donna Adelson, update. Okay. I just want to see the stream. This is what I watched. Yeah, right. This is when she was crying. Oh, Donna. Here we go. Wait. Okay, so we got that. StreamYard. Present. I don't want to have to mute myself. This is very annoying. I hate the world. Ramble away. Lovely voice. Oh, Laura, you're too kind. I sound like a man. Please, dear Lord, why did this always work in the past? This. I want this. That me groaning is my concentrating, stressed voice. I can't even deal with myself. I did it the first time with that. Oh, wait. Please work. Off. On. Please work. Oh, my goodness. No, thank you, Adam. I don't. I just did it this way last time. I hate the world. I'm going to mute myself. It's fine. We'll do it. Okay. Yeah, thanks, earbuds. This is me cranky, frustrated and tired. This is like it's almost my bedtime. Share screen. What do we got here? Yeah, this. This. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, Lord have mercy on my soul. Okay, scoot that back. This. Okay. I hope I went with the right one. We'll see. What's the worst that could happen? Absolutely nothing. We're professionals here. I love life. Here, I'm muting myself so I can sort my stuff out. God, Poppy, I'm gonna. Adam's going. She's in.
I'm almost scared to speak. Does anyone have anything to raise before we continue forward?
Yes, Judge. May I approach the lectern?
You may.
Wait, that's part 2. Be calm. Poppy, you're not helping. I love you, but you stress me out so hard it isn't even funny. Like, just calm blue oceans, Poppy, please, for the love of God and streaming. I need to see that channel. Okay. Hang in there, team. Love ya. That one, WXTL, yes, I need that same channel. Maybe I should go, wait. Search WXTL. Here we go, WXTL. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Not this, 14 hours ago. This, 10 hours ago, 14 hours ago, 2 weeks ago. I watched them this morning. Did I screenshot it? No. Okay, we'll watch the second pass first. Fine, whatever. I like this. This is working. We're just going to do it.
So, Judge, with the surprise issues of the last couple of days, I have asked for my prior client's waiver again. And with the change of circumstances, he has decided not to give it. So let me be clear. I have a waiver in the past. It's from December 12th, December 13th. And an independent lawyer spoke to him as well, although did not get a signature on the waiver. So we had a waiver. We thought we had a waiver. We didn't think there was an issue. But given the events of the last 2 days, I approached appellate counsel to get a new waiver. Thought that was the right thing to do, obviously, and the cleanest thing to do. And I am not able to obtain that waiver at this point. So as a result, I need to withdraw from the case.
Very well. Does the state wish to be heard concerning the withdrawal of counsel?
I don't think I have anything appropriate to say on the matter, Judge. If Your Honor.
Oh, Georgia. Georgia. Oh, hey, Borders girl. Thanks for joining. So, what did Charlie do now? So, Georgia isn't even going to stand all the way up. Don't blame me, Georgia. She's just like, Your Honor, this is ridiculous. So, Laura, basically, what's happened is that Charlie has pulled the plug, thrown a grenade, pulled the plug out of the grenade, thrown it, pegged it into the trial 2 days before. Like this all happened over the weekend, and basically said, you know what, jokes, lol. I'm not going to waive my attorney-client privilege. I'm not going to. But basically, the whole concern about Rashi representing Donna was that Charlie is obviously set to testify. The state are 1,000,000,000% going to bring him to the stand. The defense is not planning to bring him to the stand, but if needs be, they will get to it. But they say they would possibly call him as a rebuttal witness. But so all along, Donna signed that waiver. She was like, yeah, that's fine. I don't mind. I want Rashi to represent me. He knows the case. He's amazing. He's like a son to me. I've paid him $1 million. He's got this. Dan did everything he could. Dan. It's awful that his name's Dan when Daniel Markel's name is also Dan. But anyway. Love me some Georgie. Yes, Georgia. So basically, all along, it's been understood that Charlie and Donna both were like, we're fine. We're good. We don't mind. It's not a problem. What could possibly go wrong here? Well, Charlie, the manipulator, the little mama's boy who everyone was wondering whether he was going to flip. No, I feel like, I don't know if this was orchestrated, but it seems odd. So let me continue on. Continue on. I hate that. Let me continue.
Well
What
put.
we need to do, we would like to proceed, and I'd ask Your Honor to inquire whether we can proceed with second chair representing Ms. Adelson, but obviously we're ready for trial and there's a lot at stake.
Mr. Morris, are you prepared to move through this trial without Mr. Rashbaum?
Judge, I did enough. I tried to think about all of the different potential rabbit trails, and the short answer is I do not believe that I am going to be able to be adequately prepared to proceed forward with the present calendar, primarily because of the division of labor in the case. I would move to continue for a brief period of time. That's also, in speaking with Mr. Ufferman, which is an issue that I'm going to request that we address, the objection by Mr. Adelson would still pertain to my cross-examination, and by extension, the third party would conduct cross-examination. In short, I need time to regroup.
Before we finish today, I will have the in-camera hearing review concerning whether you have been properly walled off. As to the withdrawal of lead counsel, I am going to permit it. The conflict issues are so severe, I believe, to move forward with the trial. Ms. Kappelman, Ms. Dugan would place us in a position where we would end up in a reversal. Let's go ahead and set a case management date. As to all the expense that has been undertaken with moving witnesses and preparing for trial, the state certainly, as a part of any cost of prosecution, if you are successful, may seek those costs as it relates to today, as this continuance will be charged to the defendant. As to a new date, when would the parties like that?
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, y'all? Y'all, we say y'all in this trial because it's Tallahassee and it's Florida and it's Buster and it's Poppy, and we say y'all. So, oh, hey, Ducati girl, good to see you. So basically, this shit show continues. Donna'S bill, her tab continues to go up. Yes, Rashi withdrew entirely because the case simply cannot go forward because there was a precursor. There was a video earlier to this. So basically, at 10:30, they met Tallahassee time. 10:30 this morning, after became very apparent that it was an effing nightmare, fucking nightmare. They sent the jury panel that they were voir direing out and had a crisis meeting. And I did watch it this morning. Maybe I screenshotted it. I feel like I did. Like, Lisa, you won't remember this later. Let me check because I have got just casual 54,698 photos and videos on my phone. So let me have a look because I screenshot everything just in the hope that I'll find it. Hey, you guys. Poppy, can you please not bark? I'm a professional. No, it's the same one. God damn it, Lisa, Shorty. Yeah, so they hold everything. Let me go back and think about it. Judge Everett said, let me go back and think about it. And so this here that we're watching now, which is the second one, I'll see if I can find it, but I'm in a mild panic and I'm pretty tired. And the dogs. This here is after that. So this was at 1:30 in the afternoon today, Tallahassee time. So the judge had gone away and thought about it. They were trying to get to so Charlie had an appellate lawyer. See, this is the problem. See, Charlie doesn't want to. He's worried that his appeals process, and this was always a big issue. I think Carl Steinbach also said the same thing, that the issue could be that. Yay, Jess. Hey, the issue could be that that having the same attorney and would even though Rashi wasn't to be, he's not an appellate lawyer. That once the conviction is handed down, then it goes to an appellate lawyer. So this appellate lawyer apparently visited Charlie, I believe, over the weekend. Charlie had written a waiver, but he hadn't signed to it. He hadn't signed to it. So it's not worth anything, is it? That it's just a piece of paper with some words on it. Standard Charlie, really. And then they had the appellate lawyer to go in and try to convince him. But I guess Charlie has realized that it's dog eat dog out there, dog eat dog over there too. And he's like, no, I'm not going to play. So Charlie is looking out for number one. He is concerned that his appeals process will be in jeopardy if Daniel Rashbaum is representing Donna. And so basically basically, oh my God, I'm rambling. So sorry. Guys, can you please stop? I'm trying to focus and be so professional. You're an idiot. I love you so much, but geez Louise. Okay, look, we'll play the rest of Everett because he's an absolute doll. Love him.
To have a case management.
I think as soon as possible, Judge. I'm prepared to brainstorm with Ms. Catwoman and Ms. Dugan with the state to be able to get a trial date if we wanted to do that. But I don't know if we need additional time.
Ms. Dugan advises she has a court date October 15th, so that would be my suggestion.
10:15 at 2:30 will be the follow-up case management to today. Before we go into recess, I am going to conduct the in-camera hearing with Mr. Morris as to any remaining issue of who should conduct the cross-examination of Charles Adelson if called as a witness. If the court reporter can meet me in the jury room, Mr. Morris, please as well.
I want to say Donna's probably got the same sort of glasses as me, but we don't have the same mindset about human life or entitlement, that's for sure. Sidebar, I have had an eyeglasses, an eyewear company reach out to me to sponsor me. How cool is that? I was a little concerned I was perhaps being trolled, but I've done a little bit of research, and Adam has also. Oh, thanks, Adam. You're the best. And it seems legit. So I'm getting a free pair of glasses, and I just have to make an ad, and then I get a discount code. It's a pretty cool thing. Like, yay! Anyway, I think we'll keep going with this though. Like, couldn't be more frustrated about the no hearing thing. But anyway, no earbuds.
Yeah.
I believe Ms. Adelson was consulting with independent counsel on that matter. Has she had sufficient time to do so?
Judge, I think I'll let independent counsel, Mr. Commissar, speak to that.
Mr. Commissar?
Yes, Your Honor. May it please the court, just for your awareness, I've been involved in this since yesterday. She has had a chance.
Welcome.
She has.
So this is the first one. I found it. I'm a professional. I didn't realize it was going to just stop midway through the other one, but there was nothing happening. So let's go back because, before we make tits your discount code. Oh, my God. I don't know. I think probably Shorty. Oh, my God. Tell me all the details. I will. I'll do the thing. I'll get the glasses. The company's called Firmoo. Adam, could you maybe please drop a link in the chat? It's called FIRMOO. And thanks, Michelle. All right. So anyway, I found the first one. This is the 10:30 in the morning one. Shall we watch it, team? Eesh. This is why we stream on the weekends.
Has had a chance to speak with me. She's in a position where she would not like to lose Mr. Rashbaum. She's willing to make any waivers that are necessary. She's not seeking a continuance, and she's fine with currently unprepared counsel conducting the cross-examination of Mr. Adelson should he be called.
Well, let's go ahead and finish the colloquy that we started earlier concerning the waivers. Ms. Adelson, if you can stand once again, you have already been sworn. Now that you've had the opportunity to discuss with Mr. Commissar the issues that are related to the conflict of Mr. Rashbaum and also any issues as it would relate to proceeding forward under these circumstances, are you in fact waiving any conflicts regarding Mr. Rashbaum?
Yes, sir.
Do you also waive any issue on a future appeal regarding the issue of your son's cross-examination as it pertains both to the preparation of any counsel who would perform that cross-examination or the fact that it may not be adequate representation?
Yes.
You may be seated. Does the state have anything to raise concerning this matter at this point?
Just that the state is in agreement with proceeding as outlined by defense counsel. in the limited research I was able to do on the issue, it seems like a lot of the times when it goes the other way and the court in its discretion.
I mean, just for a minute, can we take a moment to appreciate Georgia Kappelman's hair? I had two people comment on my a community tab post saying, "Oh my God, I love these two attorneys, but I can't with their hair." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Their hair is amazing. They're just absolute queens." She was so set for day one, so here for it. You can be smart and pretty, to use one of Nurse Kim's catchphrases, and Georgia Kappelman is in off the charts amazing, beyond intelligent. She's sassy, she's driven, she's so good, intelligent beyond any measure, and gorgeous. But apparently, from what I understand, that's quite a Tallahassee look. So I know we don't want to really comment on what people look like, but I'm going to comment on Queen Georgia because, girl, hey, Parksy, yay, welcome to the emergency live stream regarding this. Would you mind changing the thumbnail? Closing it, I don't know how. Okay, wait, okay, yes, sure, I'll try. Thank you. Oh, you're watching it on the big screen. Look, I can't even make my earbuds work, but sure, let me have it. Let me add it.
Decides to boot the counsel of record for conflict, the state is seeking that. So I just want to put on the record that we are not seeking for Your Honor to do that in this situation.
To dismiss Mr. Rashbaum.
Correct.
Very well. I'm going to perform my additional research before we continue this afternoon concerning whether or not this waiver is sufficient. The defendant has made it. She has made it voluntarily. At the same time, whether it is sufficient to survive any review, that is really where my mindset is at this point. Unless any other party has something to raise, we'll be in recess and get started again at 1:30.
Judge, as Ms. Niles, in speaking with her during the break, is she and Mr. Upperman are meeting with Mr. Adelson, because the question has arisen as to whether or not there's a conflict as it relates to cross-examination, or if Mr. Adelson were to have a continued objection to his continued representation of Ms. Adelson. I think that there's some thought that that needs to be confirmed from Mr. Adelson first, because if he takes a different position, it would seemingly disqualify Mr. Rashbaum altogether. That's going to be accomplished. I wanted to let the court know that that's in the works.
Good.
Also, as it relates to the waiver, so the court was aware, and there's mention of it in the comment section of the rules regulating the profession, that an oral waiver is acceptable and appropriate with certain conditions that are set forth in the rule.
Is the attorney who obtained the waiver available to speak on this matter?
I don't know the answer off the top of my head, but I'm pretty certain, I say within 99% certainty, we'll facilitate it.
Go ahead.
Does Your Honor need, that's why I'm mentioning this. Should I, excuse me, Judge.
Signature was obtained by me, and then the independent waiver did not get a signature, but you could test by some independent waiver.
Does Your Honor feel like you need to hear from?
Spoiler alert, by the end, Donna is sobbing her eyes out like she's lost a son. Well, she has really, hasn't she? She's lost Charlie to a LWOP sentence. She's lost Rashi now because he steps down. And God forbid, Charlie is creating an absolute nightmare, in her world and her financial world. And we all know to Donna, money is very important. This will be a dirge on their financial resources. Absolutely. Someone asked before or commented before, I can't remember who it was. Let me see. About who got to Charlie. See, I can't remember who it was, but sorry. I feel like probably Charlie has been sitting in his little cell. He hasn't been able to talk to Mommy Dearest, and he's been planning this all along because Charlie likes to be the center of attention, and suddenly I think this was his best way to like literally, well, not literally, not literally throw a grenade, but to throw an absolute spanner in the works to make himself be the news item, the headline. I think it's pretty obvious that he would be feeling very not seen, and this is a good way. And really, narcissists look after themselves before anybody else. Yes, serves a right. Tough tits, Don. Anyway, let's get back.
So we have a fully developed record, yes.
Okay, let me make arrangements during the break, and I'll alert chambers as to how quickly we can do that so we don't waste time this afternoon if possible.
Please do.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to have the afternoon jurors report at 2 o'clock, so that way no one's time is wasted while we're going through these matters. Mr. Commissar, you had something else to add?
Yes, Your Honor. Just as we're talking about perfecting a record, I just wanted to note that as the independent counsel, I was given an opportunity by the court to meet with her independently. The bailiffs gave us some privacy here. I was able to meet with her for easily 30 minutes. And I'm not revealing any of our confidences, but this was not a squishy situation. Once I was able to articulate the options and how they can result in delay or the opportunity to prepare, this, I can say, was a strategy decision that is being made by a defendant who does not want to delay their case, but understands that the representation they're going to get from my cross-examination is not what they might get from another lawyer, or definitely not what they're going to get from me with a year of preparation. So it may look odd in a cold record having a lawyer come in this morning and advise somebody to waive such an important right.
Exactly, Parksy. Like Donna, I think she's been able to talk to Harvey. I feel like yes, and I'm not sure why, because am I right in remembering that he is an unindicted co-conspirator? Well, actually, it's the unindicted part. But because Charlie is now a convicted co-conspirator, and but Wendy and Harvey as yet have not been charged. So still the option to speak to them. I'm not sure how keen Wendy's been on that, and I get the feeling that probably Harvey is having the time of his life, not having to be absolutely under Donna'S thumb, and he probably looks 10 years younger and feels 20 years younger, not having to deal with her shit all the time. He can simply choose to not pick up the phone. Oh, sorry, it was on silent.
I was able to articulate the options, but I did not necessarily advise somebody to waive their rights.
Very well. Mr. Morris, do you wish the court to engage in any further colloquy with Ms. Adelson concerning this matter?
Not at this point, Judge.
Very well. Ms. Adelson, I do not want you to respond.
You are unmuted. I think that actually Donna and Harvey were both to be called as witnesses in Charlie's trial, but they made it very clear that they would be pleading the fifth on everything. And so there was no point calling them. Yeah. Yeah, no, Cherie, thank you. I got it. My dumb earbuds, I couldn't make them. I was pushing against time and I couldn't get them to hook up, so I'm having to mute in between. Yeah, so they were to be called, and because pleading the fifth on everything was all they were ever going to do, so they weren't actually called. But Wendy, in all of her delusions of grandeur and entitlement, is, as we know, under the misguided opinion that she's completely free from prosecution in this case with her derivative use immunity. However, that isn't the case. They just can't use anything she says in a case against her or to charge her. But if they can show that they already had receipts, pre-existing receipts, documented, stuff, evidence that her impeachable comments, testimony shows her up, then they can use that. They just have to be able to bring receipts. But they're also full of themselves and delusional that they genuinely think they're untouchable, right?
But I want you to understand, although you have made an affirmative waiver on these matters, I still have to evaluate whether that waiver is sufficient or whether Mr. Rashbaum needs to be terminated from this matter. I'm going to give this serious consideration. I will do additional research of my own from there. Everyone will have an answer this afternoon. We are in recess until 1:15. Please come back to the courtroom at that time.
Judge, would you be open to both sides submitting case law for your consideration during the recess?
Certainly.
Wait. No. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Yikes, it's a freaking madhouse here. Okay, so I don't know if that all went in your ears, but it went in my ears. God damn it with the no earbuds. Kill me. Okay, so I found some we'll go back to the 1:30 one in a minute, but I did find a breaking news, a news item with a couple of talking heads. So we'll watch what they have to say about this all. They might be able to better summarize it than I have. So let me just share my screen here. Hold on there, y'all. Get rid of this full screen. Oh my God. Guys, can we just not come inside? Goodness gracious. Oh, the earbuds, really. I'll make sure I've got them for next time.
Welcome back to Court TV Live, along with Julia Janae and Ted Rollins. We'll head back to the Carly Gregg trial in Mississippi in just a minute, but we have some breaking news out of the state of Florida in the case concerning Donna Adelson.
They've been dealing with an issue all morning, an issue about Charlie Adelson, the son who was convicted in the death of Dan Markell already last year. He was going to be transferred to testify against his mother, but there was a waiver he needed to sign because his attorney is also his mother's current attorney. Let's go into the courtroom and see how it unfolds.
We continue forward.
Yes, Judge. May I approach the lectern?
You may.
So, Judge, with the surprise issues of the last couple of days, I have asked for my prior client's waiver again, and with the change of circumstances, he has decided not to give it. So let me be clear, I have a waiver in the past. It's from December 12th, December 13th, and an independent lawyer spoke to him as well, although did not get a signature on the waiver. So we had a waiver. We thought we had a waiver. We didn't think there was an issue. But given the events of the last 2 days. I approached appellate counsel to get a new waiver. Thought that was the right thing to do, obviously, and the cleanest thing to do. And I'm not able to obtain that waiver at this point. So as a result, I need to withdraw from the case.
Very well. Does the state wish to be heard concerning the withdrawal of counsel?
I don't think I have anything appropriate to say on the matter, Judge. Your Honor,
Well
that's what
put.
we need to do. We would like to proceed, and I'd ask Your Honor to inquire whether we can proceed with second chair representing Ms. Adelson, but obviously we're ready for trial and there's a lot at stake.
Mr. Morris, are you prepared to move through this trial?
Parksy, right? The last 3 or 4 nights as the moon is waxing, coming up to full moon, my sleep, no good. Usually I'm so exhausted at the moment. it's not actually affecting me, but and then for a couple of nights as the full moon is waning still, and then usually I'm like, praise to the moon, let's get moving on this old man moon. Let's get this thing back down to a sliver so I can sleep properly. It's funny, isn't it? What star sign are you, Parksy? I'm a Cancer, and I'm very much a moon child. And the moon fucks with me, mate. Fucks with me. Anyway, back to
Trial without Mr. Rashbaum.
Judge, I didn't know. I tried to think about all of the different potential rabbit trails. I mean, the short answer is I do not believe that I am going to be able to be adequately prepared to proceed forward with the present calendar, primarily because of the division of labor in the case. I would move to continue for a brief period of time. That's also, in speaking with Mr. Offerman, which is an issue that I'm going to request that we address, the objection by Mr. Adelson would still pertain to my cross-examination, and by extension, the third party would conduct cross-examination. In short, I need time to regroup.
Before we finish today, I will have the in-camera hearing review concerning whether you have been properly walled off. As to the withdrawal of lead counsel, I am going to permit it. The conflict issues are so severe, I believe, to move forward with the trial. Ms. Kappelman, Ms. Dugan would place us in a position where we would end up in a reversal. Let's go ahead and set a case management date. As to all the expense that has been undertaken with moving witnesses and preparing for trial, the state certainly, as a part of any cost of prosecution, if you are successful, may seek those costs as it relates to today, as this continuance will be charged to the defendant. As to a new date,
for those of you who are coming in a little bit late, we did hear the Honourable Judge Everett mention this before, but so they had to transport Charlie from his upstate jail in some prison somewhere. I can't remember where. My brain. So that cost is enormous. They've also, I'm sure they have, getting all the jurors in, which isn't probably a huge cost, potential jurors. And I guess they probably had witnesses ready to go. And I guess they had the prosecution case would likely have started the same way as it did, with, law enforcement witnesses. So, that's all got to be accounted for, and all of the attorneys, big bickies, big money for Donna. So let me see. Mute. The earbuds.
when would the parties like to have a case management?
I think as soon as possible, Judge. I'm prepared to brainstorm with Ms. Kettelman and Ms. Dugan with the state to be able to get a trial date if we wanted to do that. So I don't know if we need additional time. So,
Ms. Dugan advises she has a court date October 15th, so that would be my suggestion.
10:15 at 2:30 will be the follow-up case management to today. Before we go into recess, I am going to conduct the in-camera hearing with Mr. Morris as to any remaining issue of who should conduct the cross-examination of Charles Adelson if called as a witness. If the court reporter can meet me in the jury room, Mr. Morris, please as well.
And at risk of sounding like a broken record, Georgia and Sarah both had their hair done. They've got their foils all done. They got their blonding nicely fresh. They'll have to do that again. Like, is that going to be charged to Donna? Because seriously, it bloody well should be. Yes, Mia, agreed. This is Charlie doing Charlie shit. The Maestro, yeah, that's his number. That was his number plate on his Lamborghini, Maestro. He likes to think that he pulls all the strings. Actually, I think Donna was probably pulling all the strings, but let's get back to it. Mute me first.
And there you have it. Donna Sue Adelson is not going to go to trial today. The jurors, potential jurors, are there at the courthouse ready to be selected. But this all boils down to a conflict of interest because she hired the same attorney that her son hired before in the case that he lost last year. And now Charlie Adelson is saying, I never signed a waiver saying that this was okay and you can't cross-examine me when I'm on the stand. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Marie Pereira. Marie, why today? Why did we wait until this moment after we transported all of these inmates to testify against her to decide this is a bad idea?
This was foreseeable from day one, this conflict. And I'll say it again, conflict. So I don't know why the judge didn't shut it down from day one to make sure all the documents that needed to be signed were signed and all the pre-trial hearings concerning this conflict were dealt with. Because now I'm mad because I was really looking forward to seeing Donna be on trial. The jurors are there. This is a situation that could have been handled. And the only person, like I said,
Preach, lady, preach. Same. I was so ready for this, mate. I feel like I personally jinxed it. Did we all jinx this? Like, come on now. Charlie, not cool. I've got thumbnails ready to go. Like, I've mentally prepared myself for streaming daily, like doing this every day, hopefully with my earbuds organized first. This is ludicrous. As if we didn't see this coming. Oh, Poppy. And licking. I saw that coming also. So let's hear some more outrage because, so annoying. It's going to be months. Oh, maybe I'll move to the US in between and then I can go. Hey, Adam.
said I feel should have been on top of it was the judge. How did he let something like this happen? Because it was foreseeable. Come on. The moment I heard same attorney, I was like, how is that going to happen? Look at this now.
But he was very concerned about it.
He was. He asked the parties, are you okay with this? And they said yes.
Until they didn't. And of course, they're going to pull this out at the end of the, Judge is back on the bench. Let's go back in.
Mrs. Adelson, depending if you choose to hire additional counsel or just reset the trial date, you'll certainly be able to work with Mr. Morris as your attorney in making that decision. But the trial is going to be continued from today. The jurors will be released this afternoon. Again, as to the inconvenience and delay that this has caused, I'm not happy, but at the same time, we're trying to get this right so we do not have to do it a second time. I will speak with the parties again when we have the next case management hearing. We are in recess. Yeah,
All right, buttoning it up there, Judge Everett. He has such a unique voice and demeanor. He really is, as you said, unflappable.
Calm demeanor throughout the trial, but you don't mess up inside of that courtroom. I experienced that when being there.
And he's upset. In fact, he's saying this is on the defense, and at the end of the day, if the state pursues it, they could be on the hook financially. Marie, picking up where we left off, where it was foreseeable, the defense indicated that this was no problem, repeatedly, but what should the judge have done? Just said, you're not doing this from the beginning, that this is too much of a conflict. It's coming back because we know your client, if she loses, is going to appeal, and let's get this off the table. Is that what you're saying, that this never should have been entertained?
Not that it shouldn't be entertained, because if all the parties are on board, if Charlie's okay with it and there was a waiver, maybe the judge, before picking the jury, should have said, let's visit this waiver thing again. Do you guys have a new waiver? Maybe he should have insisted on a new waiver being signed, because apparently there's an old dusty one. And then Charlie is now saying, well, I signed it before, but I'm not with it. That's what's happening here. So maybe he should have been more on top of the waiver situation, knowing that, this could be a big conflict. Even if you weren't an attorney, all our court TV, watchers were like, wow, same attorney? I think the judge could have handled it better, because he should have been in charge of tracking the waiver and maybe insisted on bringing him in, and maybe even having a pretrial hearing with him only and him being admonished. When I say him, Charlie, bring him in from prison and say, did you, this is what's happening. Did you sign the waiver? Are you still on board, to avoid this happening right now? But I think Charlie planned that, and he's a con. Creating a conflict. That's what this is.
I think you're on point about the possibility that they could have brought in the inmate, at least via video conference. We see that sometimes, but I do think Judge Everett very much wanted to make sure Donna Adelson was aware of this conflict. And in fact, let's go back to this morning. This is what we've seen Judge Everett do for the last 11 months with Donna Adelson when it comes to having this same attorney as her son. Take a listen.
I believe we've done this twice before, but given the circumstance and what has now arisen, it is prudent to do it once again. Do you understand that you have the right to conflict-free counsel?
I understand.
Meaning specifically as it relates to Mr. Rashbaum or any other conflict that may be imputed to Mr. Morris or any other third party. Do you understand that your attorney has to be able to properly cross-examine your son if he is called as a witness?
Yes.
Do you understand how this conflict affects the cross-examination potentially or your overall defense strategy?
Yes.
Have you been able to speak with a conflict-free attorney in making the decision as to whether you wish to waive any conflict on this matter?
Judge, the short answer is going to be no, beyond having spoken with me at the inception of my representation.
Would you like to speak with conflict-free counsel concerning this issue?
Yes.
Very well. Before we finish the colloquy on this matter, then,
so, yes. Don't throw shade at Judge Everett. He's the, didn't he win Judge of the Year last year in Florida? Yes, he did. He won an award. He's such a beautiful man. She's just mad. And she's a talking head on court TV. I don't ever watch court TV ever, except to watch trials directly. So I'm not familiar with this woman or her style. I just found it and thought we could hear some opinions here. But you know what, I thought might be fun, because it's been a minute, and I spent a lot of time listening to Charlie and Georgia battle it out. The battle of the wills. Hands down, Queen Georgia wins every time. Yes, Jess. Judge Newman. I didn't work out how to do a poll still. Never mind. But shall we watch a little bit of for those of you in the chat, Adam, who aren't familiar with Charlie, who is an absolute dick. Right? I won't say it out loud because I haven't even monetized this. So whatever. Yeah, Julie cunt. She's awful. Let's watch a little bit of Charlie because it just never gets old. How many times? We'll watch Wendy another time. We've got months now, and I'm back on board. I mean, of course, everything that's happening in Massachusetts is outrageous and disgusting, and continues to sink further and further into the depths of depravity and shock and horror. But let's watch a bit of Charlie because so here for it. He's such a dick. He's such a dick. Oh, it never gets old. I could watch Georgia forever. She is the best. Oh, it's like coming home. I swear to God. I love you, Georgia. I love you, Georgia. Said it once, I'll say it again. I'll scream it from the rooftops. Would turn gay for Georgia.
I've heard that theory before, yeah.
Was your explanation to the jury over the last little over a day the simplest explanation?
It was the truth.
You have a thorough explanation. Would you agree with that?
I told you what happened.
Do you agree that the only problem with having an explanation for everything is that there's just so many explanations?
There's no explanation. I explained what happened.
I want to go through some of that. You claim that you were extorted on July 18th, 2014 by Catherine Magbanua and also in the background, some Latin kings, probably Garcia and Rivera, right? Is that accurate?
No, I wasn't extorted by Catherine Magbanua.
You weren't?
That's not what I believed in 2014.
Okay, I'm sorry. I understood you to say you believe that today.
Today I do, yes.
All right, so who extorted you?
I believe that it was Catherine Magbanua's friend that she ran her mouth to.
Okay.
And that's
at
2014.
Right, but as you sit here today, you think it's Magbanua, Garcia, and Rivera. Is that accurate?
No, that's not accurate.
Okay. Who extorted you?
As I sit here today, I believe that it was Catherine Magbanua, and I believe Sigfredo Garcia, but I don't know for sure. I was never there when she was ever talking to him, so I don't know if he was in on it with her or not.
All right. At the time, though, you did not think she was guilty. We've got that right. The time of the extortion.
In 2014?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. And then so exactly when you found out would be, I think you said, her trial.
That I suspected that she was not telling me the truth and she was a part of it was in 2019.
At her trial?
Yes.
All right. And so she was arrested in 2016, right?
Yes.
All right. So for 3 years, she was in the Leon.
So funny story, Adam. So Charlie went off the rails quite a bit. There is much speculation, or perhaps even founded opining that Charlie was a mad cokehead, right? And Xannies and stuff. And he got to a point where in the lead up to his arrest, his paranoia was off the charts. He was so sure, rightly, that he was about to be arrested. And so by the time he was arrested, he had, I think his paranoia was twofold. I think he knew that because Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera had and Katie Magbanua had all been tried, convicted, and sentenced to varying. Katie and Luis Rivera. No, yes. oh my God, no, Sigfredo, the baby daddy, had been convicted and sentenced to life without parole. Luis Rivera was he was the one that went state's witness first, and so he got a lesser sentence because he cooperated first. But so I think he was concerned, A, that the cops were coming for him, and B, the Latin Kings were coming for him, or some combination of Latino thugs, rightly so. And so in his house, he had put barbed wire all around the back of the perimeter of his home, his mansion, and he had rifles lined up like on stands, tripods. I don't know. I'm not a gun person. Like ready to go, aimed at the window. So and his dumb, stupid curly hair. When he was arrested, I should pull up the photo. He jokingly said that it wouldn't be funny because he had an orange hoodie that said unemployed, criminal, unemployed. I think unemployed, and when he was arrested, he did have wild, crazy hair, actually, and he was just wearing his jocks. And the cops went into his wardrobe, his closet, to pull out anything for him to wear, and pulled out the orange hoodie that said unemployed. Lol. Yes, the maestro. So, oh my God, I love this. So here for this.
County jail, awaiting trial. Yes.
She was there.
And you believed she was innocent.
Yes.
And you had this whole explanation to assist with exonerating her, right?
I have the truth of what happened, yes.
But you didn't offer the truth of what happened, did you?
Nobody came to me. I thought the truth would come out.
Does someone have to come to you?
I was told not to talk to Katie and not to talk to anybody about this case by counsel.
Okay. So you strike that. On day one, which is July 18th, 2014, she is the only one that physically contacted you to conduct this extortion. Am I correct in that?
Yes, you are.
So you never actually had any contact with any Latin King?
No.
No phone calls?
No phone calls.
No texts?
No.
No letters?
Well, in 2016, you're talking about 14, right?
I'm talking about the first layer of the extortion. Did you have any contact with the thugs that were getting your money for 2 years?
No.
Did anybody put a gun to your head?
I was told that I would be killed in 48 hours if I didn't pay up.
I heard you say that, but my question is, did anyone put a gun to your head?
You're asking me, did anyone pull a gun on me?
That's what
Is
I
that your
asked you.
question? No, nobody pulled a firearm on me.
All right, so when Catherine Magbanua came to you on July 18th and said, open the safe and give me all your money, she was not armed.
My literal entire playlist of shorts is just these ludicrous assertions from Charlie and Georgia just being like, I heard you say that. Oh my God. It was just the most fun to make so many shorts. Like, honestly, a wealth, a fountain of content. Anyway, back to it. Adam, maybe could you please share my playlist in the chat of all things Adelson, 86 shorts, including one that's had 2 million views, y'all. Yes.
She was not carrying a gun that day,
And
no.
were you armed at that time? Did you have a weapon in your home?
I had weapons in my safe, yes.
Were you led to believe or told that the bad guys are outside, right outside your apartment or your residence?
No, but I was led to believe what they did to Dan, they were going to do to me.
I heard you say that, but my question is, did she say, like, the car's running, I'm going to take the money out there to him right now?
No, she never told me that they were waiting for me outside my house.
In fact, she stayed the night with you, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
And didn't exit your house with your $138,000 until the next day, right?
Correct.
And the money, the $138,000, was that stapled into $1,000 increments?
Each packet was $1,000, and they had a staple in it.
And stapling money is a little unusual. Would you agree with that?
For me, it wasn't unusual. That's what I did.
Right, but nobody else does it. That's why I'm suggesting it's unusual.
I've never questioned people into how they keep their money, whether they keep it in a staple or a paper clip or an envelope. I just know what I do.
Would you agree, doctor, that it's a compelling piece of evidence that the killers were paid in stapled money and came up with that information in this case?
It's not compelling. The people who extorted me and got my money got it from my house, and it was stapled at my house.
They had to have gotten it from you, right? Because it was stapled.
If they got it from Katie, they got it from me.
So it had to be some kind of, I paid, but I did it under duress, based on that piece of evidence, right? That had to be built into your defense.
I was extorted, and I paid the money.
All right, so Katie comes in and she's in a panic and she tells you what's happened. And I need all the money in your safe right now. Do you suspect that maybe she's working with the police at that point? Maybe she's trying to set you up?
No, she didn't say I need all the money in your safe. That's not what she said.
Yes, Mrs. Parksy. There is a great podcast on this case called Over My Dead Body, and that's where I first heard of it, because before I was a YouTube bandit, I was a podcast bandit. I still do listen to podcasts, but I'm honestly, I just need to be immersed fully into trials all the time. I'm currently on day 17 of the Letitia Stout trial. I hadn't watched that before, so that's a wild ride, watching it with Gisela. And yes, highly recommend Over My Dead Body. Very, very, very good. And stick with me, Adam. I will tell you all things Adelson. We can do this. And I mean, the trial was going to get us there, but geez Louise. God damn, Charlie. What did you do, Charlie? Urgh.
Did she take all the money in your safe?
I cleaned out all the money in my safe and handed it to her
Right. Why did you do that?
because I was being extorted for $250,000.
But why didn't you? The bump was only $5,000, and you immediately became suspicious and questioning and had all these conversations and deliberations about what to do about it for days. When Katie comes to you, you just open the safe and give her the money, right?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Ducati girl. I think that Donna was misguided and far too white girl to understand that laundering money is not putting it through the washing machine. And so she did this. And then they didn't dry it sufficiently, so it came out moldy. I think also maybe they thought that they could wash off any fingerprints or DNA. Ugh, who knows what goes through these weirdos' minds. I mean, they thought it was a great idea to murder Dan Markel to get him out of the picture. So there's that.
And there's a big difference between the two.
Okay, well, the way that it was done to you, is that the way it's done?
You have to be more specific. Please.
Well, on the wire, you say repeatedly, that's not the way it's done. You knew that the undercover agent was law enforcement, or at least strongly suspected, because that's not the way it's done. And my question to you is, since you're an expert on extortion, because you've been extorted before, and that's how you knew that's not the way it's done, is this the way it's done? Do extortionists send a girlfriend of their victim to collect their extortion money? Is that the way it's done, doctor?
I'm telling you what happened to me. And I was told that if I didn't pay in 48 hours, I would be killed. The person that came and extorted my mom, was not the same approach as what happened to me.
Is that the only way? That's the only way it's done? They send the girlfriend?
It's the only time I've ever been extorted like that.
Okay. And did you hear any of the negotiate? So they come in and they say, strike. They come in and they say, we need $333,000.
You need to pay $333,000.
You need to pay $333,000. Why not $1 million?
Because when I had told to Katie that the $1 million offer for Dan Markel, I said I was going to pay $333,000. And when she asked me, do you have that much money? And I said, yeah, I could pay it in cash. So she took it as I had cash, and she knew I had a ton of cash in my safe. So she thought I had the cash. I didn't have all that cash. So that's where I'm assuming they got the $333,000 from.
But the offer that she bragged about was $1 million offer. Isn't that right? That she ran her mouth about.
I was never there when she spoke to her friend.
Okay. Was it $1 million offer?
The offer was that $1 million was going to be paid.
Did any of you, y'all, watch the Michelle Troconis trial and the Shuhon, whatever his real name was, Shon Hon, the attorney that used to say, "Isn't that right? Isn't that right?" Anytime any attorney says, "Isn't that right?" I think in my head, "Isn't that right?" I watched it with Nerdy Addict and Eva, and he's such a good mimic, and oh my God, so funny. I can't unhear it.
And I was going to pay $333,000.
And weren't you going to cover Wendy's third as well?
No, not at all. I was going to cover my third.
Didn't your lawyer say in opening statement that you were going to cover the whole thing for Wendy's third?
No, I was sitting here. I heard what he said. Charlie was going to pay $333,000.
All right. And so the offer was $1 million offer, and that's what you told Katie, along with the fact that you were going to cover the third.
I was telling her that I was going to pay $333,000. Yeah. And then one day, if my sister was able to, she was going to pay me back.
And then you didn't have the amount of money that was being demanded at the time, right?
No, I only had what I had.
All right. And at that point, the blackmailer, Catherine Magbanua, negotiates some type of layaway plan for you to complete the extortion with the Latin Kings.
Okay. Katie wasn't the blackmailer, and Katie wasn't the one who was extorting me.
Didn't you just tell this jury that Katie was the blackmailer? You realized it in 2019.
I had thought that when you were just talking, you were talking about 2014. You were talking about that night.
Okay.
So yeah, that's night happened in
Doctor.
2014.
Okay. We all know now, because point, the blackmailer, Catherine Magbanua, negotiates some type of layaway plan for you to complete the extortion with the Latin Kings.
Okay. Katie wasn't the blackmailer, and Katie wasn't the one who was extorting me.
Didn't you just tell this jury that Katie was the blackmailer? You realized it in 2019.
I had thought that when you were just talking, you were talking about 2014. You were talking about that night.
Okay.
So yeah, that's night happened in
Doctor.
2014.
Okay. We all know now, because you have revealed the puzzle piece. She's a blackmailer. Can we agree on that?
I believe sitting here in 2023
Yes.
that she was in on the extortion for sure.
Yes. So is it okay if I refer to her as a blackmailer?
I think there's a difference between blackmail and extortion, but yeah,
Okay.
sitting here today, we can. Sure.
We'll refer to her as an extortionist. So this woman, the extortionist, is going to do you a solid by negotiating with the Latin Kings for you to get on a payment plan for the extortion. Isn't that what happened?
What you're doing is you're taking what we know in 2003 and trying to say, this is what I knew in 2014.
Did she put you on a payment plan?
Yes, she said, because I didn't have the money, she said, ask me if I could pay $3,000 a month in 2014. And I said, yes, I can.
Did you hear any of the conversation where she was making these negotiations on your behalf?
No, when she said, I'm going to go check with my friend and if that's okay with him, she took her purse, took her keys, took her cell phone. She walked out of my front door, closed the door behind her, and I sat in my living room. And she came back about 5 minutes later.
You didn't want to talk to the guy yourself?
No, I didn't even think of that. I mean, but she went outside to call.
Ready for the road less traveled?
And then the two of
Join
you
Adam Drives Helen on
Xanax
YouTube,
and-
where van life meets personal growth. And mysteries of the world come to life. Explore the unknown. Subscribe now. Adam Drives Helen, adventure, growth, and the unexplained.
I took a Xanax. I don't know if she took one out of the bottle, but I definitely did.
And the next morning, she left with your money, right?
She left about 8:30 the next morning.
That's July 19th, 2014.
Correct.
Let's talk about what you did that day. You did not report this to the police because you were in fear, correct?
Absolutely.
And you didn't report this to Wendy, even though...
Melissa, are you still here? Yes, Melissa. Wait, look at this. Look at this. We played it at the start, but I'll play it again because it's so good.
Goes around, calling all nations.
according to you, her life was in danger too, correct?
Potentially, but I planned on paying the extortion every month.
All right. But you did go to the gym that morning, right? Could
I-
we show that text, please? Were you able to go to the gym the next
I
morning?
absolutely didn't leave the house. I worked it out at Nova Southeastern Gym, and you can check the gym records. I was never there.
Okay. Did you say you were going to the gym?
I said I was, yeah.
But you didn't actually go.
No, I didn't leave the house.
So yes, Melissa, how cool is that? He turned your song into an absolute fire film clip today in a couple of hours. What a guy. That's my guy. Amazing. Thank you so much, Adam. I really appreciate you, and your talent is amazing. And I think you and Melissa together are wildly talented. We've got Robito in the house also. She's gone back to the start. And amazing. So Cherie, Melissa Asylum, I've got another one. I've got a couple that Melissa wrote for me at my request. She wrote the lyrics, and then there's 3 different versions of music genres. That one I love, but Melissa Melissa had sent it to me as just the audio, and Adam offered to put it into my channel for me, and I'm like, I kind of want to do it just as I want to have it as more than just music. I wouldn't mind like a film clip to go for it. So he put that together. And then there's another one that Melissa has done with images, which is it's more of a ballad. I'll play it in a little bit. It's so good too. So good. Wow. So cool. So like I'm a proper YouTuber now, and I've got like songs and shit. And thank you so much, Melissa. I know you spent a lot of time on that and tweaking it and changing the lyrics to better represent. I'll play the other one. Hey, wait, let me just play it now. Let's just play it now. Why not? It's so good. I sing this one, Melissa. This one is in my head, like literally all the time. I wake up in the night and this one is in my head. In my head. Is it this one? Wait. Yes. This one.
United States and Australia are sister lands. All around the globe, we are holding hands. Plymouth Rock to Botany Bay, colonists hope for a better way. Sydney Opera House to Broadway, a testament of who we are today. We still have rent to pay. We still have rent to pay. Braintree Park to Honolulu, Utah Arches to Uluru, Bourbon Street Jazz to didgeridoos. Our kinship is deep and true. This is how we begin to start atoning for our sin by creating new expectations for our blemished nations. The Great Barrier Reef to Grand Canyon, from the Everglades to Billabong. The Cloud Queen cares about everyone. The roller coaster ride is only just begun. This is her cry. Debunk, demystify, destigmatize, uniting USA and us. Uniting USA and us. Her battleground, her rumble roller coaster goes around, calling all nations with her horn. She is a shooting star out of Melbourne. Miss Shorty is a shooting star out of Melbourne. Miss Shorty connects and unites, debunking all the lies. She leads us in our fight. She's a fucking delight. Grizzly bears eat hikers who are in a rush, and Aussie dingoes steal babies in the bush. The damn beavers live in the brooks, and so was the weird-ass platypus. From Bondi Beach to Miami, Adelaide Hills to Napa Valley, from Kosciuszko to Colorado snow, Lady Gaga to Kylie Minogue. Miss Shorty connects and unites. Our citizens should be made right. She leads us in our fight. She's a fucking delight. This is her cry. Debunk, demystify, destigmatize, uniting USA and us. Uniting USA and us. The world is her battleground. Her global roller coaster goes around. A shooting star out of Melbourne, calling all nations on her bullhorn.
I can't even begin to like, honestly, Melissa, that is in my ear, my brain all the time. Like it's so good. The lyrics are so good. And yes, Cherie on her bullhorn, Melbourne. And Amy, good morning. Hello. Thank you for joining us. You just came in just after the girl punk rock band version of that song, Amy. Don't you worry, I will play it again. Adam did an amazing, yes, how touching is it? Like, it gets me. That one gives me shivers. So there's a punk rock one, Amy. It's so good. Melissa Asylum wrote the lyrics for me. She did the video for that one. And then Adam Drives Helen also did me an absolutely epic video to go with the punk rock one. So many talented, creative people in this community. It's just every turn. There you go. You're just so clever and so much, like, honestly, thank you so much. It's so much time putting in. Like, Adam has to. No, he doesn't have to. Adam's my man, so he does it. You just, I guess you're my girl, Melissa. We're one's in the chat for Melissa. Like, one's in the chat for Melissa, everyone. All right, let's go back to Charlie. So, Amy, we covered Charlie Adelson throwing a grenade into the Donna Adelson trial, and it's all gone to shit. It's off. Dan Rashbaum has removed himself off the case, taken his little suitcase of money, and a big suitcase of money, and taken and gone. And yeah, one's in the chat for Amy, for Melissa. Amazing. So let's get back to Charlie. So anyway, Charlie's fucked it for everybody, me included. Was really looking forward to streaming this trial. So excited. So we've covered that. It's going to cost Donna a fair lot of money to have had this spanner thrown in the works. Case management hearing is set for the 15th of October at 2:30 p.m. and we shall see. It will be months. It will be months. God damn you, Chucky. We call him Charlie because Donna, kind of with her accent, calls him Charlie. Yeah, let's get going back into it. A bit more.
All right. So would you agree, Doctor, and we'll refresh your memory with them if we can, that the text messages that were exchanged between yourself and Catherine McVanawa on the morning after this exchange of money were inconsistent with your extortion theory?
They were inconsistent with how I was feeling.
They don't appear to look like you just gave her $138,000 under duress, do they?
She told me the last thing she said to me before she left the house is, can we just pretend like this never even happened? So when I sent her that message, I was trying to show her, like, I'm trying to forget all about it.
Yeah, you were just demonstrating to her that you would agree to pretend nothing happened, right?
Absolutely. That's what she asked me to do, and that's what I tried to do.
All right. So the text messages aren't what they appear to be. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to the pool. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the gym. None of that is what it appears to be. It's something else.
I absolutely did not go to the gym. I was trying to show her that I was, pretending like nothing ever happened and looking past it.
And there's
And I
nothing
wasn't.
on the wire. All those hours of you talking. There is nothing on the wire about the extortion, this layer 1 of extortion, because she told you not to talk about it, right?
She told me to never talk about anything to anyone or her. She never wanted to hear about it again.
And yesterday, in your testimony, between you and your attorney, you mentioned the word extortion 123 times. Would you take my word for that?
I'm sure it came up a lot.
Okay. But nowhere, even in the midst of this whole second extortion, it's happening again. It's an extension of the same thing. Do you mention anything about this layer 1 of the extortion? Do you?
Yes, actually, I did.
Okay.
If you pull up the video from Matsuri when I was sitting with my dad, and I said it, and the funny thing is, that's what I whispered in his ear.
Right, but we can't hear that.
Right, because that's my point. I never wanted anybody to hear what had happened. I never wanted the police to come talk to me. But if you put up that video, you'll actually see me saying that it's my dad's ear. And that's why I went in and said it. And that's what we were talking about at the time. So
At Matsuri, the only time you mention the extortion, it's in a whisper that is not picked up by the microphones, right?
Intentionally, yes.
Yes. And that was intentional at the time, but it sucks for your defense, right? Because that would be a huge piece of evidence for you to show this jury, wouldn't it?
No, I think you'd come up with a reason why that I said it anyway.
And there's nobody to corroborate this testimony?
There is.
Okay. And the Matsuri, you talked about it again out in the parking lot, right? Wasn't that your testimony?
Yes, we spoke in the parking lot.
Okay, so you did talk about the extortion.
That's
You just didn't do it in a way that it was captured on any of the recordings in this case.
well, we spoke when we had privacy.
Well, you had privacy on the phone, right?
But when?
At least you thought you had privacy on the phone every time when you were talking on the phone for
No,
hundreds of hours on this
No,
wire.
there's always a chance that I was being listened to.
Okay.
I mean,
well, there was a chance you were being listened to when you whispered in Dad's ear, right? But you said it. And you were talking about it.
I whispered real quietly into his ear, so I thought I had privacy. At that point, I thought I had privacy.
And Catherine Magbanua and you discussed this first layer of extortion in the car outside of Dolce Vita too, right?
That's when I found out everything that was going on, and she opened up when I
But
confronted
if
her.
this jury could hear that conversation recorded, we would all be hearing basically what you're telling us, that there was an extortion effort that predated the undercover operation. Wouldn't
Right.
we?
Because I was trying to see if Sigfredo was behind the extortion of my mom, because I knew he was behind. I always had a feeling he was behind what happened to me, and she was having this explosive fight with him, and it was going on the same exact time that my mom started getting extorted. So I thought that he was going after my mom.
Don't you wish that that conversation in the car had been recorded?
So Charlie was on the stand for a few days. He had a blah 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 Charlie. There's no point listening to anything he says when Rashi was direct examining him, because lol, just mad lol. But so at the start of the trial, he looked a little bit green around the gills, and by the time Georgia finishes with him, oh, yikes! The bags under his eyes just get worse and worse. I can't imagine how exhausting it would have been for him, even as the narcissistic maestro that he is, to have maintained he stays calm the whole time. One of my shorts, it's a bit of mayhem. It's great. I can't remember what it's called. A couple of them, but there's a bit of mayhem in the court where Charlie's saying something, just blah 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 Charlie, and then Georgia starts to talk over the top of him, and then Rashi comes in and says he needs to be able to speak, and stands up a little bit, halfway stands, and then Judge Everett says it can't be, you have to answer the question, and Charlie goes, and then she goes, fine, Georgia. It's so good. One of my favorite shorts, to be honest. What have we got? To resort to murder for the sake of your sister who wasn't in any serious risk of harm. Just nuts. You know what? Just thinking that they can do whatever they want, that they are untouchable, and that they could fix a situation by taking someone's life just goes that's the essence of narcissists. They don't view other people as being people. They're objects. So to them, it was just removing an annoyance in the situation. Despicable, the whole family. Actually, There is one, Adam, there is one other brother called Robert Adelson, and he is the good egg. He has no association with the family whatsoever. Donna, he fell in love with an Indian girl, like from India, and he was engaged to be married to her. And basically, Donna told him that she would disown him if he didn't marry a Jewish girl. So he called off that relationship, and then found probably, I'm sure, someone else that Donna was approving of, and he married her, and that marriage lasted but not very long at all, a few short months, I believe. And then he extricated himself from the family, found his true love, his Indian love, and he's still married to her to this day. It's said that, and he married her. It's said that they had repaired their relationship, Robert Adelson, with the rest of the family somewhat, but the only time he's ever spoken, as far as I know, is in the Over My Dead Body podcast that Parksy mentioned before. Yeah, just awful. So there is one good egg in that family. Amazing that happened whatsoever. I'm a bit like that, Parksy. I'm a bit of a mind reader. So narcissists just think that they can do whatever, that people are mere objects, pawns in their game of life, and that there will be no, like in a narcissist's eyes, they are never wrong. Ever. It's not even that they consider that they might be wrong and come to the conclusion that no, they did the right thing. There is no option for wrongdoing in a narcissist's mind. Everything they do is absolutely justifiable, warranted, fair and reasonable. And this is what's so frustrating about narcissists, is because they it's just infuriating. I'm sure all of us have come in contact with narcissists of varying degrees over the years, and yes, he did know. I do know things, Adam. I know stuff. Trooper Paul. I know more than Trooper Paul. I don't know about physics much, but I know more than Trooper Paul. So let's get going. Yoy.
I don't know.
Wouldn't it prove your theory?
Wait. I had another thought. Also, back to Donna being the manipulator that she is in her children's lives. She also, in finding Dan Markel, Professor Dan Markel for Wendy, they went on. Oh, chat, remind me. There's a Jewish dating website like Tinder, but for Jewish people. And she and Wendy went together through the different profiles, and Donna approved of Dan. So Wendy was really, it seems, kind of forced into that relationship also. And it, probably wasn't necessarily for love. It was just that Dan Markel ticked all the boxes for Donna, and that he was the right one for Wendy. So just wild. Mother-in-laws are Donna.
Yeah.
What you're talking about, the
If I
prior
think about
extortion.
it, then you know exactly what happened back then.
But unfortunately, it wasn't recorded, and then everything that was recorded inside the restaurant, you don't mention it, right?
I'm speaking very carefully. I mean, I was still, even when I was in the car with Katie, she was doing most of the talking. That was the first time she really opened up, and I think I caught her off guard. I was still, even when I spoke to her in the car, I was real careful. I said, was T behind what happened to me. Like, I wouldn't even say the words to her when I was in the car.
Okay, was T behind what happened to me? Do you say anything anywhere on the wire about referencing what happened to me? Meaning what happened to me before?
No, because that was the only time I ever confronted her. But I did actually when I would be on the wire with my mom, and I would say it's not the same person. Like, that was in reference to what happened to me, and she
What
knew
call
that.
do you say it's not the same person?
Okay, you want to know what call? It was Tuesday, the 26th. And I said it's at the end of the call. It was a 2-minute and something call.
April 26th?
Wait, so Charlie had all the discovery, obviously, in the lead up to his trial. He had a couple of years to wait, quite some time. I can't remember when he was arrested. Was he arrested in 2019? Anyway, he had some time to research, and he sat there and learned, memorized all of, like a plethora, countless hours of wiretaps and sting bump operations and text messages. So his recall, he thought that if he, like, it didn't make, it's not cool or doesn't make you look innocent or help you look innocent to be able to say it was on this date, at this time and this duration. Charlie, it just looks like you did your homework, you fucking weirdo.
April 26, 2016. It was a 2-minute something call. It was towards the very end. And I go, I know it's not done like this. It's 48 hours, just enough time. It's not the same person. So you can look it up.
Okay, I'm with you. It's not the same person.
It's Oblivious Benson, the Fraser of true crime. Join the cult. Worship all things mystery and her dog, the Hoogan. With those in skills sharper than a detective's badge, comedy that'll crack your case wide open, and a cult you'll want to join. Because really, who wouldn't want to follow a dog? Subscribe now. Welcome to the weirdest corner of true crime.
And has been blackmailing me for years.
Yeah.
That's what you meant.
It's not the same person that's extorting me, correct?
All right. So I want to go back to Wendy. Wendy is in the process of relocating from Tallahassee to South Florida, basically the day that this is going on, day after the money drop, right?
They're packing up the car. They're coming back here.
So she's going to be moving significantly closer to the killers that had threatened her life.
This what I don't. She wasn't planning. It wasn't a permanent move or anything that was planned. I think she took a suitcase with her.
But she's your family member, yes. She's much closer to the one they've already killed than you, right?
Say it again.
She's much closer. She's got much deeper connections to the person they've already killed. That's Dan Markel than you do.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason to fear for her safety because these killers have come. They've just killed Dan. And now they're saying they're going to kill another one. It could be Wendy, right?
She has no idea what's going on.
Exactly. But you let her move from Tallahassee to Miami where you knew the killers were located. That's my point. Do you agree with that?
The killers were able to find Dan Markel in Tallahassee. They have a car.
They were. But would you rather live in Tallahassee or in Miami if the killers are in Miami?
I think if these people want to find you, they'll find you. Okay. I mean, I don't think. I mean, looking at Luis Rivera, I don't think a distance would stop him.
Okay. Where did Wendy and the boys live when she first moved to South Florida?
When she first moved to South Florida, she moved in with my parents into a small apartment. They actually had to get another apartment because that one was too small.
With your parents?
She moved in with them, yeah.
And I want to talk about the cameras. You bought cameras for the Adelson Institute in your home at Whale Harbor, right?
Yes.
The camera system, yeah. All right. And what about Wendy's? I guess she didn't have a place. So like wherever she was staying with your parents.
I don't know if you've been noticing, but already the circles under Charlie's eyes are darkening, and this is only the beginning. This we're not going to do it all today, but this particular testimony goes for 2.5 hours, and like, wow, he just stays in his mind. He stays so cool, calm, and collected. He delivers it perfectly. And Rashi, Adam, this is so funny. Rashi supposedly gave Charlie a score of how he did on the stand with his cross-examination, and I guess with his direct testimony also. Rashi gave him a 95. We all wondered what was that out of like 1,000, because it was so, oh my God, smug is right, Adam. You said before he looks smug. He's just such a dick.
Parents, were cameras installed there as well at that same time frame that you installed these cameras?
No, I never told her what happened, but they lived in a very secure building.
Isn't it true, Doctor, that you'd been planning to install those cameras for some time before the murder?
I actually already had cameras at my house that I had installed in 2008. The technology from 2008 to 2014 had changed a lot when it came to cameras.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think you mentioned all that on direct. I'm referring to this particular update that was done post-homicide. You were in communication with this camera guy, and I think your lawyer mentioned this. You had 84 text messages with him dating back to.
Ashley, this is Charlie's trial. So Donna'S trial has been put on hold indefinitely because Charlie decided to change his mind on signing the waiver to waiver his right to attorney-client privilege, basically allowing Rashi to represent both him and Donna, which was that's not Charlie's call, but effectively by not signing a waiver, no longer can Rashi or even the new guy Alex Morris cross-examine Charlie, and he would absolutely have been one of the prosecution's, the state's key witnesses, and so basically Rashi has removed himself from the trial, and from the case completely, we've taken his big bag of money and gone home, and no trial for now. It will come, but she's going to have to get a whole new defense team. It's likely. So that is why I'm Devo.
To January 20th of 2014 in regards to the update that occurred post-murder. Do you agree with that?
I know there was always talk that we were going to get cameras in the office, and we just never got around to it. When this happened, that week, within probably 3 days, I called the camera guy up and I said, I want to get cameras in my house and my new cameras for my house, and I want to get cameras in my office. How soon can you come out and do it? And then he came out, I'd say 4 or 5 days after that, bought the equipment and installed it that week.
Did you hire a private investigator to help you with this whole problem you were having?
With the extortion?
Yes.
No, I didn't tell anybody.
Did you get a bodyguard?
No, I carried a gun on me. I always sleep with a gun next to me in bed, and I carried a gun on my person and had a gun in my car at all times.
Do you recall a statement you made on the Dolce Vita recording that said you were going to start carrying a gun?
Yeah, because for a long time, after this happened, I was carrying a gun, and it's uncomfortable, and I don't always like carrying a gun. So I hadn't carried a gun in a while, and I was going to start carrying one again.
But you did say in 2016, I'm going to start carrying one.
Yeah, I carried probably for about 4 to 6 months after this happened, and I wear scrubs, so the gun that I had can kind of stick out.
I'm sorry, what? He was carrying his gun as he was doing periodontry with his clients. Apparently, was a pretty dodge periodontist. So this is wild to me. I missed that part in listening to. I didn't. That's wild to me. I mean, and how he thinks he's so cool. I carried. Okay, Charlie. God damn it! What a dick. What a dick.
And it's uncomfortable. I prefer not to carry a gun.
So you quit carrying it, but during the time you were still paying the extortion money.
Yes.
All right. And the extortion money that you were paying, $3,000 a month, that wasn't going towards the principal of whatever was left on the $333,000, right? Didn't you testify to that?
Correct.
All right. So you never came up with the remaining bulk of the money that you owed.
Never.
And nobody ever came after you for that?
No, they said you could pay it all off and it'll be done, or just pay $3,000 a month. So I thought about paying the full amount.
All right. Then a couple of weeks later, after the initial extortion, you and Catherine Magdanua broke up, according to your direct. Do I have that right?
That's not correct.
When did you break up?
Within a week. I met her, went out to dinner, and went out to eat, and I just said, this has got to end.
All right, so
Looking for something unique to elevate your style? Discover Minx and Maven, your go-to Etsy shop for handmade jewelry that tells a story. From vibrant mahjong tiles to polished stones and gorgeous beads, each piece is lovingly crafted by Tiff Knox. Whether you're after a bold statement or a subtle touch of elegance, Minx and Maven has something just for you. Ready to make your look unforgettable? Visit Minx and Maven on Etsy today.
Aren't you scared that if you broke up with her that she would sick the Latin Kings on you?
No, because I had every intention of paying every month. When I broke up with her and I said, listen, I don't want to surround myself with this. I'm scared. She said that she was going to come every month and pick up the money and protect me. And she understood. I mean, our relationship was on the rocks.
But you've testified that all the gifts and stuff that you gave her were to keep her happy, right?
Yeah, when I realized that she's the one who's protecting me and she wasn't a part of this extortion, I had no problem keeping her happy, and I looked for things to do, nice things to do for her because she was broke.
But not worried about pissing her off by breaking up with her.
Well, our relationship was definitely on the rocks. After July 1st, when Sigfredo cut me off and threatened me and called my dad, and then she knew I didn't even invite her to my dad's birthday party, which was a family gathering with family friends on July 5th. She knew we were going to be done.
After you broke up with Catherine Magdanema a week after the murder, did you continue to talk to her?
We still communicated for sure.
Talk on the phone?
And texted, yeah.
And meet up?
No, the only time I would see her was I saw her again the end of August. She came and picked up the money, and that's when she asked me if I could put her on the books because none of this money was going to her and she needed to get health insurance for her kids. So I said,
That's that. We'll leave it. It's like 8 o'clock. It's half an hour past my bedtime. Thank you so much for you US folks for staying up or getting up early. I'm not sure what it is there, wherever you are. Aussies, oi, oi, oi. Thank you for coming along. I guess you've probably all hit the like button, but I'd love you to make sure you have hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section after the stream has ended. And I think maybe we'll do some more stuff. Actually, before I go anywhere else, Captain Paul Watson, I'm not familiar. I will try to remember to look into that. Wait, let me just do like my Gen X thing and like take a photo of the screen. Yikes. I had a really big day at work today. It was wild. I didn't even have my earbuds in all day. I was actually doing proper work. I didn't moderate for any channels. I was like a proper peasant work shit person. Random. Look at me taking a photo. Oh, I want to show you one other thing. Look, I went to Aldi. I did my food shopping before I went streaming today. And oh, wait, we'll get rid of this. Bye, Charlie. We'll talk to you later. Dick. Look, I got these spoons from Aldi. $10 teaspoons, because obviously I needed more teaspoons. I actually do. Depends where you are, Cherie, because Adam, it's 6 a.m. on the East Coast, but Adam is in Oregon, and Melissa also I think is in West time. So look at these ones. These are the ones I wanted first. Can you see? So sweet for my coffee. Aldi, fucking great. 308 here. Adam, thank you so much for staying up. You're the best. You're the best. You're the besticles. Just like testicles, only better. Co-founder of Greenpeace. Oh, okay. There you go. I will look into it. I'm Melissa. We're going out with the punk rock version of my fucking delight song, because it is a fucking delight. Love your faces. Thank you for being here. 4 a.m. Not tired yet. Okay. I'll look into it. Melissa. Good morning, shorties. Ashley. You watch mainstream media still? I have not turned on. I haven't watched anything other than YouTube for the longest time because, okay, we want to save the whales. I'll look into it. I will look into it. Let's do it. My brain needs more. Guys, Poppy. Everyone. Yikes. Can we just not? Thank you. Okay. Mwah. I love your faces. Let's play this. Wild. Oh my goodness.